What do you say? So let me turn this down just a little. I think you'll be able to see right there. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to crunch up some tortilla chips. Now, this is a great way to use up the crumbs in the bottom of the bag that nobody wants to eat. So you need about 1.5 cups. So I'm going to do about 2 cups worth because I have about 2 pounds of hamburger meat that we're going to turn into Tex-Mex meatloaf. So you just want to crunch these up. So however you want to do that. Okay, y'all got your chips all crunched up. We're ready to crunch up. I'm going to add my cheese to this. Now you need about 4 ounces of cheese. Mine may be a little bit more just because we like cheese. So we're going to mix our cheese in with our chips like this. So what we're making is the seasoning and the binding to go in our meatloaf. So this is the stuff that's going to mix with our meatloaf. So we're going to set that aside, and I'm going to measure out a cup. I've got my cup of ketchup there. So to my ketchup, I'm going to add some chipotle seasoning. Now, if you don't have chipotle seasoning, you can use any kind of spicy seasoning like taco seasoning. You could add a packet of that to it. So I want about a tablespoon, and the lid to my seasoning happens to be the right amount. So we're going to put that in our ketchup and stir that together. Now I've got the oven turned on. It's at 375. So you'll need your oven turned on. Be sure you're getting Mom to help so you don't burn yourself. Now we're going to take part of this. We're going to pour 1/4 cup. And we're going to set that aside. Now this you're going to save till your meatloaf is complete. It's completely cooked. And then you're going to pour this over the top of the meatloaf and leave it in the oven another 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes to let it get, it'll look kind of shiny when your meatloaf is ready. So just set that aside. Okay, so to this, we're going to add our egg. Now remember kids, when you crack an egg, you don't want to do it on something sharp. Do it on a flat surface, just a little crack like that, and then take your thumbs and pull it apart like you're opening a box. Now if you use fresh country eggs like I would rather have, be sure you open that, pour that into a little cup by itself. So to this, now if you have fresh bell pepper, you can chop up some bell pepper to add. You can chop up some onion. I don't have that, so I'm going to use a bell pepper rub. And I'm going to use an onion rub, which is one of my favorite things. Okay, so we're going to add a cap full of onion rub to this. Now this is where our seasoning is coming into our meatloaf. We're going to add some salt, some pepper, and I don't measure, just add a little bit just together. Make sure your egg gets mixed up in there. So our seasoning is all mixed up here. Now, you don't have to wear gloves, but I have kind of long fingernails, and I don't like stuff to get up in there. Now, be sure you washed your hands before you got started. I didn't do that on camera today, but you kids got to remember to sing happy birthday while you wash your hands. All right, so in my meat, I'm going to break my meat up. And I'm going to add my dry ingredients first together. So we want to get it all mixed in there. Just keep turning it around. If you don't want to stick your hands in there, you can use that mix and chop or some kind of mixer to get down in there and help you mix it in with your hamburger. You can use ground turkey, hamburger. I've got 2 pounds of hamburger in here. Now the reason you're using some type of dry ingredient, if you don't have tortilla chips, you can use oatmeal, you can use breadcrumbs. Those help to bind the meat together when it's cooking so that it stays in a loaf and you can slice it up and everybody can have some. So once you get all those mixed in there, then we're going to pour this into our meatloaf. So we're just going to pour all of this right in here with it. See why I like to wear gloves when I make meatloaf. Get it all mixed in there. Now you could make plain meatloaf. We just happen to like Tex-Mex meatloaf. It's one of our favorites. I made it for a freezer meal workshop one time and it became our favorite meatloaf. So this is what I make all the time. Alright, now do you have your pan ready to put your meatloaf in? I'm actually going to use one of my new iron skillets to cook mine in. So let me get that over here. I got meatloaf going everywhere. So then you're going to dump all this right into your cooking pan. See if it needs mixed anymore. Just pulling my gloves off. Now divide this into 2. So you're just going to kind of look at it. Okay, Mom. So divide it into 2 and then you're going to just push it together. Be nice to it. Give a little pat, a little bit of love in there, and shape your meatloaves. Now the reason I divide it into 2 is because that way it doesn't take as long to cook. So you're going to put it in the oven. I like to kind of smooth it out, make it pretty. And if you want, you can even divide it and make it into 4 smaller ones. Alright, so our meatloaf is ready for the oven, and I'm going to check the temperature. You want the temperature in the middle to be at least 155. 165 is like perfect, but remember it's going to keep cooking even after you take it out of the oven. So if you pull it out at about 155, it's not going to overcook. It'll come out, and then once you reach that, be sure and put the stuff that we put aside. Be sure and spread that across the top and put it back in the oven for a few more minutes till it looks kind of shiny. And your meatloaf is ready. So now we're going to take the stuff we saved, put it around. Oops, mine's falling apart. If you don't have enough, you can take your ketchup, squirt a little more on there if you want to go a little further. And then back in the oven.